All these rumors are fun to talk about. And Red Bull hasn't blown up yet.
Alex Albon's birthday, and his gift, Logan Sargeant's car.
With the drain covers, why is this such a big issue?
That's what I'm saying. Alonso more and more is looking like Aaron Rodgers.
He's geriatric. We just kind of want him for merit mark.
You cannot win a constructors battle when your second driver is not performing.
Grab your popcorn, folks. Things are getting crazy.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Lights Out Latest. My name is Marina, and I'm here with Tristan and Steven. And unfortunately, Jason couldn't be with us today, but we have Christina as like a special guest. I do want to shout out Jason, though. Jason is dancing for Thon. For those unaware, Thon is the largest student-run philanthropy in the world, and it's a 46-hour dance marathon. So he has been awake and dancing in the BJC for 46 hours. He is encroaching the last hour.
He's busting his butt over there.
He's busting his butt over there for the kids. Benefiting childhood cancer. So, yay to him.
Indeed.
In about 40 minutes, we'll find out how much money Penn State raised through Thon this year. So, that is very exciting. We shall see. With that said, let's get straight into our headlines for this week. First and foremost, the number of mandatory stops in Monaco has been changed to 2.
Yeah.
What do we think?
I mean, I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, I know we kind of talked about in our group chat that, you know, every team is probably going to have to do it now. Well, obviously, since it's mandatory, everyone's going to have to do it. But it's going to add another element to the race, I think. You know, Monaco is definitely a different race than any other race that we see on the schedule, just in the fact that if you start from pole, you're kind of destined to win unless you really messed up your pit stop. So having 2 of them, you know, naturally increases the level of difficulty that the teams have since they have to execute 2 pit stops instead of 1. So it's going to be interesting to see how teams tackle this moving forward.
It is unfortunate for Monaco and for Formula One that they have to artificially make the race more interesting.
Yeah.
But there is also an element to it, like, will it even make the race more interesting? Because theoretically, could you, and fact check me on this, start the race on, like, softs, run your softs for, like, I don't know, 10 laps maybe, pit for another set of softs, and then just pit again after 10 laps for a set of hards and just finish the race?
I think, yes, but I think what makes it interesting is that pit stops are never 100% straightforward. Yes, F1 is getting much, much, much better and much more efficient at pit stops, so there's a little bit less of a risk. But it's still an unknown. It's like an extra variable. So I think that's what they're going for. Of like, we want more people to fail their pit stop and it mess up the order more, and like have a pit stop where it's 4 seconds versus 1.2, and then you have like first and second switch places a couple times. So it's not just someone leading the whole time.
Right. I think if the pit crew was more involved, like not necessarily more involved, but less efficient, kind of like a NASCAR kind of vibe, then the pit that would be so much more impactful at Monaco. But because, like you said, they are so good. That, like, I mean, yeah, sure, you see, like, Daniel Ricciardo lost Monaco once because his pit crew sucked. Or not because his team wasn't ready. And it happens. But I don't know. I think it's cool that they're trying to do it, but it all falls back on the same aspect of it's artificially making the race more interesting, which is, not the greatest thing in the world.
I mean, also, Monaco, there's crashes. Like, last year, there was a crash at the beginning, and then George just didn't pit after. He just kind of coasted. So, I mean, that'll change everything because we won't see someone on tires for, like, 70 laps anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, because, again, the other thing that's iffy for me is the wording is, are we saying mandatory 2 stops or is it 3 compounds? Because usually in Monaco, and usually the rule is you don't have to make a pit stop. You have to run 2 different compounds. And so in Monaco, like last year, like Christina was saying, they ran like either the mediums or the softs, and then they put on the hards during the red flag and didn't pit at all the whole race. Yeah. So is that eliminated? Like, you can still change under red flags, but you're still going to have to pit twice? Or is it you have to run all 3 compounds? Like, I don't know. The wording is iffy for me.
It's got to be one of those things we just have to wait and see what happens race day.
Our resident tech expert isn't here.
Yeah,
so.
They're probably also trying to get rid of long DRS trains in Monaco because everyone just sits behind each other, and if they have to pit, there's not as one long train.
Yeah,
that's true.
That is true. All right, let's move on to Christina's favorite topic. Logan Sargeant. has made the decision to step away from motorsports. He's
This is
supposed to
my
race
least
in
favorite
LMP2.
topic, actually.
But you love Logan, so
Yeah, I was gonna watch Elms this year because Arthur and Logan were gonna be in it, but then Panis Racing announced that Arthur wasn't gonna who their lineup was. Arthur wasn't in it. I was like, okay, I guess I'm watching it for Logan. Then Tuesday, I'm done watching the liveries. I go back to my room and I scroll on the Instagram and it says Logan is pursuing other interests and he's no longer racing. And
Yeah.
I'm heartbroken.
I
What do
just-
you mean?
it's also the fact that he didn't post it.
No.
So it's almost like, okay, he's pursuing other interests, but are you just saying that so that like fans don't hate you?
Yeah, because
Like,
he was
seems like a
supposed
lot
to be
of
doing
unknowns there.
Elms, and then also I saw somewhere he's doing something with sim racing. But if he's pursuing other options, I don't know if that means he's not even doing that anymore.
yeah,
And
I have no
I
idea.
don't know. Like,
we're just have to wait and see on that one.
he's just like off the internet. I'm like, with Daniel Ricciardo, we at least know he's alive because he's in Scotty's TikToks all the time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even if he's not in them, you can tell because I heard his laugh earlier. I was looking through the comments and everyone was like, oh, we know Danny's okay because we can hear his laugh behind the camera.
Yeah.
So,
You know what's really funny about the Logan Sargeant deal is that his older brother, Dalton, raced in NASCAR, and he kind of had a very similar departure from the sport. Like, he was expected to sign for the next year to race for whatever team he was going to race for. He's like, nah, I'm going to go do real estate. See ya.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did.
but
Yeah.
that team,
Keeping it in the family.
Yeah.
the team he was going to race in Elms for gave him a better departure than Williams did. And he didn't even race for them yet. And he raced for a whole year and a half at Williams. And he got a better departure from a team he hadn't raced for yet.
Yeah, for a team he did nothing for. To
Yeah.
Be fair, but
So
Yeah, it's a tough situation all around. I don't know. Poor guy had a rough run at Williams, and now we don't know.
Exactly.
we shall see.
Yeah.
new real estate agent to the Charlotte, North Carolina area, Logan Sargeant.
Guess we all got to take a
Yeah.
trip then.
No, I think it's interesting, but again, there's so many unknowns because he didn't post and the team did, and we have no other information.
Yeah.
So we shall wait and see.
Yep.
One last thing before we get into F175 and all our thoughts on that event. Carlos Sainz will now be the new director of the GPDA alongside George Russell.
Let's go.
pretty cool.
Funkel has joined the party, everyone. Let's go.
I feel like this couldn't be more perfect.
I guess
Absolutely.
it's a Mercedes connection now. Like, I mean,
Kinda. Yeah, I
since
guess.
we're racing for
I
Williams.
just think that he's like Carlos has a line between like being outspoken, but also like he's not afraid to say certain things, but he's also like not. I feel like he's not constantly being like punished by the FIA,
no.
which kind of helps. Like I feel like he doesn't get in that many crashes. He doesn't
No,
swear.
He's
He's
kind of
got a
just
very
under the
serious
radar,
demeanor.
just
Yeah.
kind of like laying low. But they really need like a Canva subscription or something because what do you mean? I saw something. It was like, did George
should-
just text Carlos, "Hey, can you send me a picture?" And so Carlos went to stand behind a wall and took a photo and sent it to George, and he just put it with the text.
So
like
Oh my
I
for a
was-
man who loves PowerPoint,
I feel as though maybe me, we should DM the GPDA account and be like, "Do you want an intern?" Because I'm more than willing to like help you create some better Instagram.
Just
just
make
get us
graphics.
paddock passes to Coda, and it's fine, and we'll do it. You know,
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
a solid plan.
Yeah.
Because
Doesn't have to be paid.
just
Yeah.
get us paddock passes.
Yeah,
'cause
I'll
we-
do it for free.
Yeah, we don't have to pay for
We are
hotels or anything when we
easily
go to
bribed.
Coda, so
I'm
it's
very
fine.
easily bribed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily, bro.
Anyways, let's talk about F175. I want to start with event stuff, and then we'll talk about the liveries individually. But how ironic did we have a 2-hour event filled with inappropriate jokes and booing of the FIA when the FIA just created a new rule on swearing and defamation? Like,
Yeah. They
Like-
try to be cool, and it worked, but it didn't work for what they were trying to do.
No.
yeah, it's just not on brand.
Yeah, and they had Gordon Ramsay talking about it too, which didn't help.
Gordon
but that was
Ramsay
a
said,
beautiful
no,
thing.
let them do what they want.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was
Yeah.
so funny that it was like a fuck you with, for lack of a better word, to the FIA.
Literally.
Yeah. I think we just all had such low expectations that
Yeah.
it was actually good because we were expecting worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have definitely been way better, But
No,
because of
absolutely.
everyone's such low expectations, we're all like, oh my gosh, it was so good.
I think
When
as a
realistically,
spectator,
it was like average probably.
I think it was
Yeah.
probably amazing as a spectator,
Yeah.
even better than like watching, because I think online it was a little bit cringe at times, but as a spectator, it was probably really fun.
But everything's always better in person than watching it from a screen.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I guess. But I don't know. I just think it's so ironic. But also as like a PR person, like in the back of my head, I'm thinking, how did they let this happen? Like, because this is so off-brand for F1.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's like, if you're putting together an event that's 100% F1, this is like all F1, you're representing F1 through an event, and yet you're doing it completely off-brand to F1 as a sport.
Yeah.
I feel like they were like, okay, let's make this like F1, but like TikTok era themed. Like, that's
Pretty
how I
much.
felt. I looked at Christina.
Yeah.
I looked at
That's
Christina.
very
He
true.
goes, Jack Whitehall goes, I just got lost in Charles Leclerc's eyes. And I look at her and I go, F1 TikTok.
I didn't hear her say that because I also was lost in Charles Leclerc's eyes. So
But
My
it's
gosh.
just. Anyways, let's talk about Jack Whitehall. Did the humor work? Did
I
it
thought
not?
It was good.
I think it did.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I mean, maybe only on a couple of occasions you could tell, like, this is kind of forced, I guess you could say. Like, he doesn't understand the culture, but someone clearly prompted him and gave him enough, like, hey, like, this is what the fan base is into. Like, for example, the Charles Leclerc stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't reasonably come up with that on his own. You know what I mean?
I mean.
Maybe he spent some time scrolling on some TikToks. He just
Yeah.
like typed in F1.
Your
And, like,
homework
went
is
through-
to scroll on F1 TikTok for
I
Yeah.
mean,
the 3
to be fair,
hours.
he touched on like a lot of the key like social media things
Oh,
that
for
have
sure.
been
Yeah.
really trending.
Came out
But
swinging.
I feel like that was their
with the
point,
Max
was to
and-
touch
with
on the
Max
social
and George
media.
stuff. It was
Yeah.
the first thing
Yeah.
he made a joke about.
I thought it was
Yeah.
funny too because Max had already talked about in the press conference. He says, I'm not interested in restarting beef with him in frickin' February.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm so not in this world
Max
right
is
now.
like, me and George are good. You know, we're not best buds, but we're good. And George is like, no,
we're
I'm
not.
not speaking to that man.
And does
But
Max
No.
have to worry about a
now
sixth-place car?
Kimmy's all like, I love Max.
Oh,
and it's
shit.
like, George. And it's like George's teammate. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. There was a lot of things with Max, and yet not at all.
Yeah.
Because I felt like if you only watched the actual broadcast, you didn't get much from him. They like showed him for like the Max and George beef, and then he didn't do an interview, but he did do interviews before, and he was talking about paternity leave. In F1, he was like, I can't just like take paternity leave, like unless I rack up a bunch of penalty points or
Yeah, unless
like
he gets
something-
12. Wait, you
It-
say 12
Well,
points
he's
or something like
almost
that?
there, isn't he?
I think he needs 4 penalty points.
Yeah.
Didn't he say he was going to do that?
Yeah. Or he goes 12 penalty points, or if I get suspended for swearing. But other than that,
He's gonna
Which-
strategically do it.
all
so he can
likely
dump
possible.
Lando.
I just think that, again, he's playing on the fact that he already knows people don't like this rule.
Yeah.
So he's egging it on with that. But then also at the same time, he's just like, I feel like it's comical. It's like, okay,
It
well,
is.
like, I'm not going to go, like, watch my kid be born. Because I don't have paternity leave. But, you know, I just think that was funny.
Yeah.
True.
I don't know.
True.
Yeah.
We shall see. I'm also like, I don't know who I was telling you about this. I think it was Tristan. Because, like, I also, like, have no clue. I think most fans have no clue when Kelly is due. So she could be due before the season or during the season.
True.
We're not going to know until they announce it. Like,
and I
that
tell
they've
you,
had the
just
kid.
like DM her. Just be like, hey,
Yeah.
like, hey, girly.
I considered DMing her in Portuguese because I thought that would be, like, more... anyways.
yeah, maybe.
You said, yeah, that's how I'll reach her.
Also, can we talk about Max and Kimmy?
Yeah, I loved that. It was like, someone was like, okay, so Charles has adopted Ollie, Max has adopted Kimmy. And it's really funny, though, because George is like, no, me and Max aren't really that close of friends anymore, you know? And Kimmy's like, yeah, Max is great.
George is probably like, no, don't talk to him. He's a bad influence.
Yeah, he's a bad influence on you. I think it's funny because everybody compares Kimmy to Max because of how young Kimmy was coming into the the
Yeah.
sport.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
and
he's
again,
Toto Wolff's Max
he's
Verstappen.
Toto Wolff's Max Verstappen. We've talked about before on the podcast about how Toto felt Toto's still trying to get Max on his team because he lost out in the past trying to get Max to race for Mercedes. So now he's kind of like gotten his version of Max, which is Kimmy. And then a lot of people pointing out like, oh, maybe Max is just being super nice to him because he knows what it's like to be so young and
Yeah.
trying to fill everybody's expectations. But I just thought, it was, yeah, like you said, so funny about it's like Max and George and Max and Mercedes, like, there's still beef there. But then Kimmy's like, I love him. He's great. Like, he's giving me great advice. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Max is starting to raise the Max 2.0 maybe. We'll see. I mean,
Max 2.0 would be crazy.
Yeah.
Especially because Max is still on the grid. Like, the two of them be
I
fire.
don't even know if you
Yeah.
could say Max 2.0 because Max is one of one. Like, it's crazy.
yeah.
Max is in his Max 2.0 era.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Max
Oh my gosh.
Verstappen.
yeah.
Mm.
I want to keep talking about Max
Maxinelli.
for just a little longer because I want
Obviously.
Max got booed. So did
He
Christian.
sure did.
Uh-huh.
So did the FIA.
So did the FIA.
Yep.
What did we think?
I think
fair.
it was cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
shit.
I think it was kind of
Okay,
cool.
cool.
In a
That's what
way,
we're going with.
because again, we've talked about it so many times in this podcast, is that success gets hate. I mean, it's just success gets booze. You know, it happens.
I mean, look, you've seen the NFL with Roger Goodell coming out every time in the NFL draft. This is what F1's equivalent is, in my opinion. This is
Or
gonna
like-
happen, or the Chiefs even.
yeah.
You're gonna go into every year. Red Bull's gonna get booed
Yeah.
while they're winning. I mean, maybe not cool is the right word, but it's cool in the sense that we're starting to see a real rivalry. I feel like maybe not rivalry, but like a real hatred brewing for a team that's winning.
You know what the
You know what I
difference
mean?
is though between like the Chiefs, for example, and Max is that the Chiefs are so hateable, like they're so easily hateable.
Yeah.
But Max he's just good. He's not
Yeah.
easily hateable. Yeah, I guess you could say like he doesn't do media anymore, which sucks. But like,
Well, he's
Yeah.
hateable. To me, he's hateable in the same way Kyle Busch is hateable.
yeah, exactly. Kyle Busch
Kyle
is
Busch.
much more outspoken though.
No idea who that is.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I feel like some people had to sort of see it coming that there was going to be some booing towards Max
course.
because it was in England.
That's what I was going to say. It's
So,
in England.
yeah.
And in the last 3 years, I mean, he beat everyone, right, in the last 4 years. But in the last 4 years, he beat Lewis. Very close. And a lot of people don't feel as though Max deserved it. And so
That's
still
that's the other thing.
Lewis. And then on the other hand, he beat Lando. And he kind of, I mean, Lando fans probably don't want me to say this, but I feel like he kind of humiliated Lando. Lando had the better car. He had all the
come
chance.
on.
Lando grew. Had
she
one
will
win.
take any chance she can to
Lando
hate
had
on
one
Lando.
win. He had one win. He grew a huge ego. And then it looked like as a Max fan, it looked like it was Lando's championship to lose, and he lost it
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
but
spectacular fashion.
not
Everyone always
humiliation,
says
though.
you have to have the mindset of, oh, I can win, and you have to be a little cocky sometimes in a sport.
But
where
not.
it's
But
like
you have to
this.
measure your cockiness because he won one race and became more cocky than Max Verstappen, who's won 60 something.
I mean, hey, dude won his first race in you know, like a few years of trying. Of course, he's gonna get low cocky. You know.
I
Yeah.
disagree. I don't know that that's of course. He did. Carlos Sainz won his first race. You don't see that man going
well,
cocky.
Carlos is different though. I feel like.
Lando's still Lando.
Charles
He's
Leclerc
just a
won
guy.
in Monaco and in Monza and has never been as cocky as Lando Norris.
Those are two. I think.
They're iconic races. He was much closer to anyone else in the last couple years at beating Max, and yet still not cocky. That's my point.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like
Lewis
Charles and
Hamilton is a
Carlos-
7-time world champion. He's not cocky.
Yeah.
So,
I don't
anyways,
know.
It's true.
I think karma,
Although
but
Karma.
I'm going back to the booing part. When the FIA addressed the booing, they didn't mention that they were booed at all. They were just
Yeah.
like, guys, you can't go around here booing Christian Horner and Max Verstappen. And it's like, but
Did
we
you-
mainly booed you.
did you see
they're
Jos
just kind of ignoring it.
Verstappen's
I did
comments?
see it. He was like, Max will not be going back.
He's
Yeah, it's
such
like-
a dork. Fucking put him on an island in the Atlantic and make him never go anywhere else.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
it's
man,
so lame.
He subtly hinted that Max was gonna boycott any future events
Well,
in the
You're
F1
not Max
events
Verstappen, dude.
I will do
held in the UK.
No, I saw something, and then they were talking about how Jos was like, I never left Max at a gas station. That was just a rumor. And then someone was like, yeah, but who said that? Max was the one that said his father left him at a gas station.
Yeah.
And then Jos goes, I never left him at a gas station. I just didn't talk to him for a week. It's like,
Right,
There's a
that's so much
difference.
better.
Yeah.
That's so much better, truly.
so I don't really
Anyways.
take that dude's words. They just kind of go in one ear, out the other, and I just go with my dad.
Yeah.
As you should.
Speaking of Lando,
Mm.
Lando made a 50 Shades of Grey reference in an
He
interview,
did.
which I thought was hilarious. Again, we're bringing the inappropriate jokes back, and I don't know how I feel about
That's
it.
just Lando. If you see anything Lando does outside of that's just Lando.
That's just Lando being Lando.
Yeah. Like, you watch him play video games with Max, not Verstappen, Vettel, or however you say his last name. They're just, like, making jokes the whole time. He's just a 20-something-year-old guy playing video games who races on the side.
It's true.
I guess.
It's true. He's a young kid at heart who has a fun time doing what he does. He's like if I don't know, if Danny Rick had like the mind of like a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
So you're calling him immature?
Sure. I mean, you can be immature in your 20s. That's when you're supposed to be immature.
Yeah. He's still learning how to life. Okay.
Yeah.
This is his one life. He's still figuring things out.
He's just
I
a
love
little
how we
man.
make excuses for some celebrities, but don't make excuses for others.
Whoa,
But you know,
what is that?
Whoa.
Whoa. What does that
We're
mean?
not-
Right, so we never made excuses for Max's immaturity when he was immature.
I
when
was
he
not
first got
watching.
to the sport as a teenager, but
I would have
God
gladly done
forbid-
that if
God
I was
forbid
watching
I call
F1 at the
Lando
time.
Norris,
Well,
God
he was the
forbid I
first.
call Lando Norris
He was one of the
immature
first to ever
at
do
20.
it.
I wasn't watching F1 at the time,
was gonna
but
say,
I
neither
would have
was
been
I.
like, man's just a
Kimi
kid,
Antonelli
guys.
is 18 and he is more mature than Lando Norris at like 25.
That's okay.
It's not. It's just
Sure.
nah. It's not. But anyways, I'm sure his immaturity will show again this year. George
Oh,
called
most
him the
likely.
front runner for this year's Drivers' Championship, and I blatantly disagree.
I'm Team Charles. As much as I love Lando, I'm Team
too,
Charles.
with this
I'm
year.
Team Charles.
Especially with the
Or
Max
Max.
rumors.
I'm Team Ferrari.
I need
Mm.
Charles and Max to have a title fight, and I need Charles to come out on top this time. That's what I need.
I need Max to come in like fourth to humble him so that he can win 4 more in a row.
He's
after
not.
that.
But you say humble him as if he's like bragging about his wins.
No. I'm not saying
Man has
humble him.
no ego.
I'm not saying in an ego way. I'm saying him on an on-track
I
way.
think if Max is anywhere lower than second, he'll be so pissed off.
That's what I mean.
That next year, if he doesn't have a good car, he'll leave.
Yeah.
Aston Martin, baby. Going with Fernando, baby. The
So
rookie's going to teach the champ.
Yeah. Teach a O-Dog new tricks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Belt to ass. Whip.
I can't.
Okay,
What's the basketball movie where it had Kyle Irving in it?
it's a movie about basketball.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
No, she's saying she has no idea.
Oh.
That's her way
So
of
it's this
like
movie where
Uncle
they play
Irving or
basketball.
something? Uncle something.
See,
yeah.
what I know is The Luck to the Irish, or The Luck of the Irish.
That's what it's giving.
That Disney Channel movie. That's
Oh my god, when the kid turns into a leprechaun.
Yeah! That's a good
Wow, I haven't heard
movie.
somebody talk about that movie in years.
Yeah, me
Love that
neither.
movie.
Jeez, good pull.
Anyways,
I watched all of those at like 2 a.m.
Yes.
in my media room over the summer every night.
There you go.
That's where you caught me at 2 a.m. watching early 2000s, late 90s
Hell
movies.
yeah.
love
There
it.
you go.
That's awesome. Anyways, last little thing driver wise, and then I want to move on to the cars. Who else caught Lewis and Charles playing chess?
Me, I loved it.
That's like not okay. Like
I think
that's
it's
a
great.
that's a Charles and Carlos thing.
I think Charles is just gonna play chess with whoever he can. He just loves to play chess.
I think
He's gonna play chess
I'm
whenever.
not okay with Charles and Carlos not being teammates
I think you
anymore.
just are a little.
I'm a Carlos fan. I love Carlos Sainz. My mom
Yeah.
turned me.
I'm not a Carlos fan. I'm not a Carlos hater. I'm just indifferent about him, and
That's crazy.
so
Being
If there's
indifferent about
Christina,
Carlos Sainz
can
is
we
wild.
agree that Carlando is better than?
yes,
Thank you.
No.
Yes.
Are
Thank
you
you.
crazy?
Thank you.
I love Carlando.
Nothing will ever beat Carlando.
I mean, you saw
No.
I sent you
Absolutely
that
not.
picture where it's Lando and Carlos, Ollie and Kimmy, and then George is just there, and it was British drivers and their emotional support drivers,
Facts.
because Ollie has Kimmy, Carlos and Lando, so Lando has Carlos, and then George was kind of just there. He didn't have anyone, but
See, no.
yes,
yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
There's
Marina,
nothing more iconic.
You have been outruled.
You've been out, yeah.
Well, first of all, Tristan didn't vote.
Tristan,
What's my vote?
Carlando,
Carlos and Lando,
or
or Carlos and Charles.
the answer is Carlando.
Yes.
The answer is Charlos.
No, it's Carlando.
I
It's
mean,
Carlando.
Or are you gonna say Carbano or something?
I'll say the Charles and Carlos.
Yes.
So
No.
congratulations,
You've
congratulations.
been outvoted.
Somebody
no.
text Jason.
Bro,
or
that's a
even.
50-50.
Somebody text
Jason?
Jason.
Jason would definitely say
Jason-
Carlos and Charles.
Jason
Then
would
don't
definitely say
text
Carlos
him.
and Charles.
Then don't text
You've
him.
been outvoted.
It is a 50-50 vote.
Yeah,
we
Yes.
just
this
said
is
Jason would
50-50.
say
Yeah,
That's
but
a would.
he's not
That's
here,
a
so
would.
we don't know his actual decision.
Yeah.
Would. If my mom had balls, she'd be my dad.
Exactly. Preach, Christina. Preach.
I don't.
I don't know if I would be able to deal with Christina constantly on the podcast and you and Steven.
Well, you're
teaming up
living with me
against
next
people.
year, so sounds like a you problem. I'm a delightful hoot.
Is that
So-
the new term we're using?
I've been
She's
using
a
this
hoot.
term for like 2 years. So
All right.
who's behind, me or you?
Okay.
And it's not me.
Anyways, let's talk liveries. We'll go in the same order they were revealed. What do we think about the steak car?
Meh. Looks like
Not
someone
bad.
Better than what I expected.
If you had to give the livery a rating out of 10, not like we're not like putting them in order.
We're
just
not
like
ranking, just like
just a
overall, like a
rating.
score.
score out of 10. And if you had to give the launch a rating out of 10, what would you give them?
I thought the launch was lame, but
Yeah.
not the worst.
Honestly, my first impression of the launch, terrible. But like
Actually-
rewatching it, it was like, actually, this is better than I thought.
Let's do it this way, right? You rate the livery out of 5, and then you rate the launch out of 5. We add the scores together, get a score out of 10.
Okay. Livery, I'll give it a 3. Launch, I'll give it a 3.
So 6 out of 10.
Very mid.
Steven.
I would say livery 5.
Out of 5?
No, sorry. I thought 5 out of 10.
I thought it was out of 10.
Yeah.
We're doing it's
combined out of 10.
It's
Good
combined
job,
out
guys.
of 10.
I
Tristan
don't
got
math.
it.
Yeah, I got
I
it right
press
away.
buttons. I don't math.
Okay.
let me.
It's what do you rate it out of 5, and then what do
Okay.
you rate the reveal out of 5, and then we add those scores together.
I
Get
give
a rating.
Got
livery.
it.
Give livery a 3. Give the show 2.
Okay, so
I
5 out of 10.
Same. I'd give the livery a 3 and the show a 2.
Okay, I give the livery probably also a 3 because I think it's mid.
Yeah.
I honestly probably give the show like a 1 because I just think it was very poor to be the first one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like it didn't really.
But also, is that kind of a good thing? Because then it makes the other ones better.
Maybe.
I mean, I feel like they just
Also,
shouldn't. have
nobody
s-
likes steak.
I was gonna say, I feel like they just shouldn't have started with steak.
Yeah, but
Well, they did
they did it in
reverse
order.
championship.
Well,
order.
yeah. I mean, if
So-
it would have been cool if they started with Ferrari. That would have been cool.
Yeah, but people would have left.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, people
yeah.
don't care about.
they would've
like, they're not
started-
staying.
True.
If they had finished with Steak or Williams, I don't think. People
Yeah,
would
the
stay.
stadium would be empty,
Yeah.
except for the people required to be there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Facts.
True.
So with that, Williams, thoughts?
No.
The worst.
Pass.
Car looks awful. Team is dumb. Carlos Sainz is the only good reason for it. James Vowles, I don't
that's
even
such a
care
diss to
for.
Alex
I
him.
love
Albon.
Alex.
No, he sucks.
Okay.
Dude sucks.
I love Alex over Carlos, and that's gonna be my hot take.
Wow.
Can't wait for him to lead the destruction.
Like I said,
stadium.
I am
Yeah.
neutral to Carlos Sainz, but I'm an Alex Albon supporter.
Bro has proved consistently for 2 years why he doesn't deserve that Red Bull seat. Never did.
Oh
It's
shit!
facts.
Damn.
If you can't
Damn,
at
bro.
least keep that car on track and not throw it into the wall every single weekend, then yeah, it's fundamentally that's my argument.
It
So
didn't
I'm
happen
giving
every
The
weekend.
car is a all right. It was a figure of speech. The car is a 1 as well. The car is very ugly. I don't like the Duracell battery thing on top anymore.
No.
That's the only part I
That's
like.
the only good
I'm
part.
just not. I don't know. I mean, it was cool for a little
It's
while.
just like their thing. It's like, oh look, a little battery on the top.
Yeah.
I liked it when there was a bunny.
Yeah, I'm saying
for a
though,
race.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna give the car a 1, and then the intro also maybe like a 2.
Okay, so
What was the intro again?
um,
That's how unmemorable it was. I forgot it.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything except for when James Vowles came out first. He like said some things.
I
and
don't
then he
like James Vowles,
introduced-
so I kind of
He
probably just
intro-
zoned the whole thing out.
He introduced Carlos and Albon, and they like walked out together.
I'm gonna give them both a 1, cause yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page pretty much.
I
here.
mean,
I think I leave the livery a 2.
personally, I
'cause I
like
don't
the
think it's that bad.
I like the livery better than steaks. Personally,
Oh,
Eh,
I would give delivery more of a. Let's see what I give.
it's
I
only
give
one
steak-
color.
No, it's not. It's 2.
it's 2. It's like an ombre
different
from like
different
dark
shades of
blue
blue.
to light
Okay,
blue.
but that's still one
But-
color.
Yeah, I like steaks.
Whether it's dark blue or
Over
light blue,
Williams.
unless it's very dark and very light, it's one color.
I mean,
Still blue.
I would give Williams like 3.5.
For their car?
Yeah.
What do
So remember, this is out of 5. So 3
Yeah.
is average.
Yeah, I'll give it slightly above average.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I probably give the car like 2,
Mm.
2.5, and then the launch, I don't know, 1, 2.
I guess,
Yeah.
I guess I get conflicted because, first of all, I have no clue what their sponsor is at Atlassian.
It's a
Yeah.
software
Atlassian?
company, I
Of
believe.
Yeah.
course it
Of
is.
course it is.
That's how
I
it's
just-
going these days.
I have a thing with it not being just Williams, because I think that
Yeah.
Williams is
Yeah.
an iconic team. It's like a
I
Ferrari.
don't like it.
Like Ferrari with a new name sponsor.
You mean
like,
HP
yeah,
Ferrari?
don't.
I know, like
No.
no, like those teams should never have a name sponsor. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't care how much money the person is paying. Ferrari should always just be Ferrari, and Williams should always just be Williams.
Yeah, well, people probably only
So-
when they're required to are actually going to say their full name. Like whoever says Scuderia Ferrari HP or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a culture.
The other
nobody.
thing is that it's still Scuderia Ferrari. HP is like an add-on at the end,
Mm-hmm.
whereas this one
it's
is
in the beginning.
at the beginning.
Yeah,
So-
I don't like that.
I don't
also like we're gonna get to this, I think, when we talk about the Ferrari livery, but like I don't recognize like a single sponsor on the Williams car. Like Gulf is the one that I do, and obviously Duracell. But
Yeah.
Ferrari, I understand that could be my limited worldview, but Ferrari, we talked about this during the reveal. Every single sponsor was a name brand that we recognized and even used.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I don't know. It's a disconnect for me with the Williams.
Yeah,
livery.
but
It
also
really is.
it's a lower team. It's not going to get as big
No,
as
I
sponsors.
Yeah.
understand
So yeah,
that, but you think,
makes
I don't know,
sense.
with the
But
history
yeah,
of
I don't
that
know who
team.
these people are.
All right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
V carb.
10,000
I
out of
like
10.
V carbs.
We look at the V car,
I love-
it's a nice car. No.
It's
I
well.
love this livery from the side. I hate it from the front because I think from the front it's just too much white.
What does it look like from the front?
I don't know.
I don't have a photo
I
of it from
can't.
the
I
front.
couldn't. I don't have a photo for
It's
you.
being pulled up.
Mm.
I think.
It's just I don't like white and yellow.
No, there's just like no really photos of it from the front. I think it's because everyone realizes it looks bad.
I thought it looked good from the front.
Yeah, I
like
liked
the
it.
Hugo little.
Yeah.
I just don't like.
Snaps there.
I don't
This
think
is
white and yellow look good
unnecessary.
together.
That's
And
fair.
so from the front, all you see is white and yellow.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Get
When they
rid of
pulled off the
the-
yellow, when they started pulling it off because they had it covered, I was like, oh, is it gonna be like a yellow car? Are we really embracing the Red Bull part, the Racing Bulls part? And then
Yeah.
like they pulled it off. They are embracing the Racing Bulls part because they've got tiny little bulls racing on
They're
the
so
side.
cute.
And it was so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
But I was like,
I
okay,
give this livery a 5 out of 5.
yeah, I'll
Yeah,
give this one
This
a
is
5.
definitely 5.
The
Launch,
reveal.
though, those two men are too short to have uncovered.
Why
that
were
car.
they?
That took way
Why
too
were they
long.
being so mean to Yuki? They were like, "Yuki, hurry up, work those little legs," and it was like he's just trying.
You know what it gave? It gave Full House where Michelle goes, "Wait for me,
I
I have little legs." I
Yeah.
was like, that's what it
Gosh.
was giving.
The
Yeah,
one,
and it was like Isaac's also short. That was their thing. They were like, guys, Isaac's keeping up. Yuki, hurry up. And it's like, calm down.
He's
the one,
trying.
the one negative part about the livery, I will say, is that freaking Cash App green does not need to be there. It looks so.
It's
Yeah.
the
It's-
racing Buzz Lightyears.
It very is noticeable, which is the point, because you're like, oh, green. That doesn't match anything. What is that?
Yeah.
But that's the whole point of the car.
I
Yeah.
hate the
So-
suits.
I don't hate the suits.
Also very Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah,
It's,
they
it's
are
giving
very
Buzz Lightyear. So
No,
I
I'll
will
give-
say, actually, I was just gonna say for the livery, I'm gonna give it a 4.5, only because I want the rims, I want the aero caps to be white. I don't like them black. That's the only thing I don't like.
I don't hate it. I
I'm
think
a
it'd be
s-
too much white.
I'm gonna stick with the 5 out of 5 on the livery. And the car reveal, what, like,
2, 3.
Yeah, 2.
because I don't really remember what happened. I just remember they peeled it
only
back.
5
and
out
I
of
was like,
5
oh, actually interesting.
The
So-
only 5 out of 5 reveal was probably Aston Martin. And that's
I-
still
was
jumping
cool.
ahead.
I like
That was
Ferraris.
cool.
Yeah, I liked Red Bulls as well, even though it was like not the greatest. Like
I
just
was
liked
just
the
watching the
production they put
Grammys
into
again.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, another
Oh.
Charlie XCX.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. Haas. We already knew what this car was going to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was no
They said-
shock.
did.
We, this team, we do what we do, and we go on with our day.
Yeah.
We also already knew what the Williams was going to look like, did we not? Did they not reveal their car to like
They
their
did, like,
sponsors?
okay, I do think the Haas is kind of more white, probably, than I thought it might be.
The
Yeah.
Haas
But
is a
every-
beautiful car.
Yeah, every
It's
team
aight.
did
It's
go.
a great race car.
It is. First of all, they get it right. This goes back to what I just said with the V-Carb car. All of their sponsors match their livery.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
have yellow on it for some reason. For like, oh, if they had like I don't know, some sort of like banana company or whatever.
Or
Yeah.
I
Could you imagine
remember,
Haas was sponsored by this man of bananas? Or vice versa?
I
So
remember
funny.
always looking at it, and I was like, both of the drivers last year were dads, and they had Play and Go, and I was like, I wonder if Play and Go is still going to be a sponsor this year. They are still a sponsor, but I was just like, oh, I always liked that because last year it was like, oh, the two dads, they both have kids,
Yep.
and it's a toy company being their sponsor.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
yeah, because that's one thing I saw when they were revealing Livery.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
I
I,
really like
understand it's
it.
a very basic scheme, but
Yeah.
like it
It's like
is.
4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah,
Like
I'm gonna say
3.5.
Their review was boring.
There's only 2 5 out of 5s for me for the liveries, and it's gonna be this and the V carb. So
Oh, you give this a 5 out of 5?
yeah, I really do. Again, I'm a sucker for black, white, and
It's
red.
just like
I
I
basically
like it, but I don't like
For
it that
one
much.
reason.
it's just
a
not
great
so
race car.
different. I like it, but it's just like not. It's just like kind of there. So like 3.5, and then reveal. What did they do? Why can't I remember any of these?
I
That's
can't
how
remember the
unimportant they
reveal.
were. I'm gonna give it a 2 then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm at a 5.5.
Okay. I don't remember the reveal, honestly.
I don't either.
So.
I remember a couple reveals, and that's it.
I remember Kane Brown being very close to the camera.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
That was
yeah,
it.
we were
Okay.
like,
No,
yeah.
the reveal was awesome because they used Lenny Kravitz. They used the Lenny Kravitz song. I forget which one it was.
I'm
They were embracing their American side.
Yes, it was
yeah.
awesome.
I'm thinking like 3 out of 5 for the reveal.
I'm giving it a 5.
I'm
And a
sticking with a
4
2.
out of
Now that I
5
remember
for
what it
the-
was, I'm giving it a 5 on both ends.
So you got a perfect 10 out of 10 for
I'm
us.
giving it a perfect 10.
They
out of 10.
nailed it for you.
I think they really did.
Interesting.
Yeah, I really do.
Interesting. Okay, here. Can I ask though before we move on to Alpine? Did Haas nail it for you because you didn't have any expectations?
Yeah, quite literally, and they blew him out of the water,
Okay.
like quite
Okay.
literally, and it was actually
Yeah,
good.
you know.
Like it was like
No,
no expectations, but they did provide something good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to be a Haas fan. I will be an Ollie Behrman and then a Laura Mueller fan. That's it. I'm not
Okay.
rooting for Esteban Ocon. So anything he does wrong is is not his race engineer's fault. It's his own fault.
There you go.
She
That's,
said that on Sports Night. I was like, that's
I
great.
did. I was like, no, Esteban Ocon, be good friends with Ollie or I'm throwing hands. I will come for you. Do not hurt that child. And then
First
yeah.
female race engineer.
And then
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so she can do no wrong. It's all Esteban Ocon's fault. All of his wrongs are his own fault. He can
love
take
it.
accountability for that.
All right, Alpine.
This was a great livery.
Yeah.
In the
it was-
black, like in the dark,
In the dark, it
hated
was horrible.
So
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
night
So-
races are gonna be terrible.
It was so bad.
In the
Yeah.
light, I saw photos after. I was like, oh, it's like in a white room. I was like, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's better than I thought it was.
It's decent. It's decent.
I honestly give this livery like probably a 4 or 4.5 out of 5
I'm
when
Yeah,
it's not
right
in the
there
dark.
with
Yeah.
The
But-
live hatred on this. What's called?
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
check out our
So
Instagram
unreal.
live, we were like, we hated it so much.
Yeah, because it was in the dark, and it just the colors don't look good that way, especially with the gloss on the blue in the
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
It just
I will say, if you look at like underneath the what's it called, the side pods, it kind of it's like into black. They
Yeah.
should've just made that blue.
Yeah,
If they made that blue, I think
Yeah.
it'd be better.
it would have looked
Like,
better
the
for sure.
black doesn't look right on the car. I don't
or
know.
even like a pink to more pink on the side.
maybe, yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
Like a,
I do like the pink. I'm
is
still waiting for
tasteful.
that camo livery, that
Yeah,
pink one they
the pink
promised us
camo
last
that was
year.
it's gotta
promised.
happen.
They've got to do it. They teased it again towards the end of the season last year when they did the all
I
pink
think-
car, and it was like, guys, just give us what we want. We want the
Yeah.
pink camo.
If I would think that they would either do it in Coda, because I feel like the U.S. is very synonymous with like camouflage and like hunting and stuff, or they would do it in Brazil because they had double podium there last year to like kind of celebrate,
Yeah.
make it meaningful, not just like
Yeah.
let's throw out a random new livery for this year.
I don't know if
but-
I like the camo pattern they were using though. I would like a digital camo. Like you see how like I don't know.
I mean, we don't
Yeah.
really know though because the
Yeah.
car doesn't exist with delivery.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna
Yeah.
give that one a 3. The
Oh, what about
intro?
the launch? I don't
What?
remember the launch.
it was that really long music video we had to pause for so we
It
didn't
was
get copyrighted.
Oh,
like we had to
the
zero.
didgeridoo, right?
Yeah,
Zero.
0. Like
That shit made
I
it
hate
copyrighted.
that
at
was
0.
so long. It
0.
was like 5
thank
minutes
you.
of some dude playing music. I was like, I get you were like a performer or something on the list. I don't on like
Yeah.
the lineup, but like that was unnecessary.
Yeah. Try to do
So,
dubstep live. Was
I'm like,
kinda
if you're gonna make
crazy.
it that long, you should also bring out Paul Aaron and like Franco Colapinto.
Yeah,
but
they
like
should've-
actually don't bring out Franco Colapinto. That's too much drama with him and Jack because everyone's like, oh my gosh, Jack only has a race contract, and then he's gonna get replaced. It's
Yeah.
like he's literally just a rookie, guys.
Yeah.
Give him a break.
Yeah.
All
We'd
right,
have to see.
Aston. Best launch, worst livery.
Yeah, I wouldn't say worst livery.
It's in my like.
It's
down
again, they're
there.
just kind of there. They
I
did
think it's-
change it from last year,
I
which
put,
is nice.
I put between Steak and Haas for me personally.
For me, it's like
Yeah.
Williams,
Yeah, Williams is the best.
Aston, Steak.
Really?
Yeah, I have actually the same. That's the same. I
I'd
was
say
thinking.
Steak, Williams, Aston,
But
Haas.
Steak at least has 2 colors.
There is
I like
something.
sticks.
There is
It's
something
too-
to
it's-
respect. With
it's a little cheesy to
consistency,
me.
too.
Yeah.
There is something to be like, all right, that team is known for this is how the car looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do British racing green
they
all the
should-
time. That's their color. That's what like Aston Martin's
Well,
known for.
They should have done all British racing green. Instead, they
Yeah.
took too much black.
That like little white spot at the top.
Yeah.
It was like, I was like, oh, the car is different because there's a little white spot right there. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
Just
but
keep it simple.
I'm gonna rate it
They,
like
they did too much.
2.5.
The
Something
car
like
looks
that.
like a race car. I mean, I
It-
understand that's
that's-
such a basic take, but it does look.
And that is
Yeah.
their goal.
Yeah, it's just
I
not.
guess.
I don't know. It's not the most
They
creative thing.
they
in the
did
world.
probably they were like, no, let's focus on the launch, not the actual
Like-
car.
Like for
Because like
example,
they put a lot of effort into that
yeah,
video
sure.
beforehand where they were James Bonding.
Yeah. That was,
It was like, okay.
It was a good video.
It
Like,
was.
for
It was.
example,
Yeah.
We're gonna rate the Red Bull higher, but the Red Bull has done the same principle essentially. The car looks exactly the same.
Are
Hasn't
we rating
changed.
Red
We'll
Bull
get
higher, though?
we'll get into the Red Bull when we get there because I have takes. I
So-
have
Oh yes, you do.
yeah.
The launch, I'd give it like 4 because
Yeah,
I like the video
yeah, I like the
beforehand.
video.
I mean, like when they came out, it was kind of like Fernando was like, "Yeah, I know what I'm doing," and Lance was kind of confused.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
like, "Wait," because I saw one. It was that dude who likes to voice over. He in like public. He's like, "What these people are saying." He
Yeah.
also like does a Carlos impression. He was like, and then he pretended to be Fernando. He was like, Lance, you gotta wave." And then Lance was like, "Oh, okay." In that video, and I was like, honestly, that's probably what happened. He was like, "You gotta wave.
Yeah,
You're
for
in
real.
public now."
Oh my god.
And I was like, okay.
All right, Merc.
You mean Mercedes?
Beyond mid.
That's like a 2.
I
That's
hate
like-
this livery
Damn.
like with a passion. Like it's so
Could have
bad.
been better.
There's no color.
Yeah. They should have just gone
like a-
full like
It's
dark.
like a 2 livery and a 2 reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tried
Yeah.
to do silver and black. I think they just should have just gone full black.
I love the silver arrows. I think it should have been all silver.
That too. I mean, just stick to one or the other. Honestly.
I think if you're gonna go full black, it has to be it can't be matte. It has to be glossy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, slight pause. Congratulations to Jason. He just sat down for the first time in 46 hours. It's 4 o'clock Eastern time, and
Did
they've
it?
just sat down. They will announce the number soon, but I wanted to like shout that out because I thought it was
Oh
cute.
yeah. Good for him.
Anyways, back to the Mercs. I don't know. I just don't have a good feeling about this car. As in, like, I feel like they're gonna be very mid this year, and their car is mid, and so it's just like I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
whatever.
we're gonna. It's really gonna be something like when I was on Sportsnet, like Trevor Dynamics. That's gonna be an interesting one. That
Yeah.
team this year, I think, because George is now the older one, and then they've got Kimmy, 18, just got his driver's license like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
which I just think is just so hilarious. They're like, oh yeah, he's driven an F1 car before. Oh, and now he can drive a regular car, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
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 Yep.
All right. Red Bull. Here's where I go on my rant.
All
I'm
right.
gonna I'm
Go
gonna let
for it.
everybody rant.
Oh.
No, I'm gonna let everybody go first. Like, give your ratings first, and then I will.
I have a
Yeah.
very simple take. Car looks the same, but the cars always look good.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I mean, I think the reveal was pretty good too. A solid 4 maybe.
the car is slightly different. There is a red stripe on the side,
There you go.
teeny tiny. That's the only change they made. But,
Okay.
yeah.
But like, what's the rating?
Tristan, you wanna?
I gave it a 4 because I just love the Red Bull car. I do really
Yeah.
enjoy it.
That's fair.
It has stayed consistent. I mean, again, I will say like the back in the Infinity era with like the purple in it.
That
I
was a
thought
5
really
out of 5
cool. It was a
car.
5 out of 5 car.
It's a 5 out of 5 livery. For sure.
But I think you kind of need some of those sponsors to come back to make, like, obviously you're not going to get Infinity back, like it's not
Yeah.
happening. But like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't feel right to put that on this car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't make as much sense at all.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna give the car a 4 and the launch a 4 as well. I think it was pretty good.
And getting
I
the
like it.
car, honestly, I'm just tired of seeing the same thing over and over again, guys. It's a
Okay.
2.5 for me.
So, go for it.
Well, I was gonna say at first, I hated on it because it was boring.
Yeah.
But now I've kind of grown to accept it, how they're doing it, and I do like it. I like it better. I actually personally like this better than the Infinity livery, to be
Oh,
honest.
interesting.
So I give this one like a 4 out of 5. I give this show though like a 2. I think
Okay,
the show is
I
not
give the
great.
show probably. I mean, they hyped it up so much in that like video before,
Yeah.
and then they kind of just like, so it was like, oh, so is it gonna be maybe something different? And then it was just the same thing. So it was
Yeah.
like, oh, at the beginning it was good, and then it just turned into the Charlie XCX Grammy show where they were all just like in a British club partying, and
Yeah.
Max and Liam were kind of just like, hey guys.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
2.5
I will
as
say,
well.
launch-wise, it wasn't my least favorite, but it wasn't my favorite. I also was much complaining about the fact that they didn't get interviews, which granted,
Yeah.
now that I know that that's each team planned their own thing,
Yeah.
Max definitely just didn't want to do an interview.
He probably said, I will
So-
show up, but
Yeah.
I'm not speaking.
Yeah.
Do not make me
So-
do that.
I mean, he did interviews with before with the NL and
Yeah.
stuff, but I just think that he wasn't interested in doing an interview in front of a bunch of people that were just going to boo him anyways.
Yeah.
So
And-
that's my thing on that. Now, here's where I go on my mini rant because
no.
there's one thing that people don't seem to understand. When we talk about liveries not changing, we talk about every team but Red Bull. Why? Because Red Bull is this is a marketing play. Why would they change their livery? They should every year be very consistent because it's all marketing. They
Yeah.
make all their money back. This is like a side quest. Their real brand, they're an energy drink company,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So they're trying to sell that. So that means that they should stay consistent.
Yeah.
So I
agree.
have no problem with them never changing it. And like Tristan said, it's always looked great.
Yep.
They've always had it's not like it's
That car
consistently a
has
bad
never
car.
had a bad year. I really don't
No,
know.
the
if it
Red
ever
Bulls
has.
never had a bad year.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
I don't have a
Um,
problem with it not changing. I'm just saying if we're ranking them on design, it's not going to get a higher than average because you already know what you're expecting.
Sure.
So,
But-
like, yeah.
I
okay.
agree with that statement.
Now I'm gonna skip Ferrari. We're gonna go to McLaren just because it ties into
All right,
this. and
Marina,
then we're
go
gonna talk
ahead.
about-
Okay.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Marina.
just-
Go ahead.
I just
Trash
talked about how Red Bull has every right to keep their car exactly the same. It's a marketing play. McLaren, on the other hand, has no excuse for their livery being exactly the same as last year, with the exception of changing gray to blue. First of all, I don't think the gray looks better. I think the blue looked a lot better. I just don't like it. I think
Yeah.
it's very I think that they've had so many good eras. Granted, I will accept the excuse from Zach Brown or Andrea, whoever said it, that was like, we wanted to keep the era consistent. They won the championship last year. They want to win it again this year with the same car. Granted, if they don't win it, they should change the livery because
I agree.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
all
I
I
agree.
wanted to
I agree.
hear.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to hear.
So-
But no, they were hinting at it. Was everyone was like, "Oh, it might be a whole orange car." If you saw their teasers and everything, they were hinting towards more black.
Yeah.
Like they were like they did the black race suits in that earlier, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, is this the race suits?" And then there was mixed views about that, and so they had to post something on Instagram that was like, for one day only, with an Oscar photo, be like, "Guys, are not our race suits,"
yeah.
because I feel like that would be too much. All black race suits
Yeah.
and like half black, half orange car. But I'm like, I was kind of expecting more black on the car than we had last year, which is kind of what we got.
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone was upset. And I was like, guys, but they were telling us there was going to be more black this whole time. Listen to the clues.
Yeah.
But just because they're giving clues doesn't mean it's right for them to literally make the same car.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just feel like everyone was way more upset than they were so upset that there was that much black. I was like, yeah, but they were telling us for weeks that there was going to be that much black.
Do you think it's a weight saving
So,
thing?
It might
Could be
be.
that too. That's actually a good point too. I feel like none of these liveries are necessarily final except for maybe Red Bull because I feel like a lot of teams are gonna be scraping a lot of it off just for weight savings.
Probably didn't Alpine
Yeah.
do that halfway
Yeah.
through the season? They just made it pure.
Yeah, and Red Bull
Yeah.
halfway through the season said we can't do any more special liveries because we have to not put that
I
much
think
weight.
that was cost
Yeah.
cap. Was
Yeah.
that not? I think that was cost cap because
Could've been.
Checo kept crashing.
I don't
So,
know, but because they still put them on the F1 academies, which was great because we got to see those. So
Sure.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go
didn't
to the last one.
we didn't say
Ferrari.
our.
Oh, what's the ranking? Do we rank Red Bull? I give Red Bull's livery a 5 out of 5.
We all ranked it. It was you.
Yeah.
I give Red Bull's
Yeah.
livery a 5 out of 5 and their launch like a 3.
Okay, I'm gonna give.
But I'm a Red Bull fan, so I'm biased.
McLaren, the livery.
McLaren gets a 2 out of 5.
3.
Theirs is the same.
McLaren's a 3 for me.
2.
Their livery launch though, they had all the other cars, right?
That
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah, I liked that.
But they
So,
should have highlighted those
The
cars.
launch
a
gets
little
a
more.
5, the car gets
Yeah,
a 3.
that's what I'm
I
giving
think
it to.
that's-
Launch a
yeah.
5, car a 3.
I don't think the launch deserves a 5. I think the launch deserves a 4.
I mean, I'm a history dork, so you bring out all those cars and I get excited.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
I would say show 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. Livery
Oh, we're going into
also
the decimals now.
4.5 out of 5.
We've been doing decimals this whole
He's
time.
been doing decimals this whole
I
time.
know.
Anyways,
He's watching Thon. He's.
all right, Ferrari. I am too. I want to see the number.
I'm looking
Anyways,
like over.
his wait, Tristan's watching thought?
Yeah.
This is the only exciting part, is to see what number.
Well, he
it
didn't
is.
get that we were saying numbers, like going into the decimals, because he's been on his watching.
All right, Ferrari.
Okay. I liked the reveal, but that's also because I'm a girl who likes design, and like someone who really likes design,
Oh, a girl
when
with
they
taste.
were drawing, like they were actually
Yeah.
drawing everything, like
I
all
liked
the
the reveal.
sketching. I was like, oh my gosh, I like the sketching and like all the drawing and everything. I was like, they
Yeah.
actually like took time to appreciate all that. So I liked the reveal. The
liked it
livery,
too.
hot take, because apparently everyone hates it. I don't hate it.
I like it.
I don't
I,
hate it
per-
at
I
all.
like
I
it.
like it.
I like it too.
I don't like
They
the
were.
stripe.
We knew there was going to be a white stripe. If you've looked on everything, they were not hinting to there wasn't going to be a white stripe. Like they released their merch beforehand. Their merch had a white stripe on it. So I was like, okay, so there's going to be white on the car. So there being a white stripe makes sense.
Yeah. I just think that the white stripe is too thick. I don't mind the white stripe being there. I just think that A, it's too thick. B, I think it should have been a white stripe with the Ferrari horse on it, not the HP logo.
I think it had to be the HP
Yeah.
the
Yeah, it
logo
had to
though. It had to be.
but, you know.
I
That was
just wish
definitely not Ferrari's choice.
HP did not require them to use the blue logo. If they allowed them to use the other logos that other companies are allowed to use, the car would look so much better. But they're required to use that blue one,
Yeah.
and that's my issue with the car mainly.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
how they have to use that. But I think if they did make the white stripe smaller, the HP logo would have looked even bigger. And everyone would be then more complaining about the HP
Yeah,
logo than the
that's
white
true.
stripe.
But I think
so the
everything
white,
should have been, the HP logo should have been slightly smaller.
I don't think
and
it
the white
can be.
logo.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But that seems like a Ferrari issue they need to address with their sponsor.
Yeah,
Because
but
the
like
HP is everywhere on that car.
they've already signed that contract. I don't know how
Yeah.
much they're because also they've just got Lewis and they have to pay for Lewis.
Yeah.
So realistically, but no, whatever. Everyone's ignoring how if they made the white stripe smaller or less, then everyone would just be complaining about how big the HP logo is. So while the white stripe is a little annoying, the white stripe also is kind of necessary to make the HP not look as big. Also, if it was the blue on the red, that'd just be too much. The white
Yeah.
does kind of help neutral it out a little bit.
I agree.
Yeah. I
So,
agree.
like from a design standpoint, it's not as bad as you think because you have to take in all those parts, and everyone's just looking at it first glance, and they're like, "No, I hate it." I'm like, "Yeah, but if you think about all those other parts, it's not as bad as it could be."
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. Any final thoughts?
Did we rank that?
Did we rank that?
Yeah, I don't
I
think we
just-
gave it a new
I was like, I was on a rant. I didn't think we got the
Well,
numbers.
I don't really like. I don't know what to rank it. Like
Livery
that's my
gets
problem.
a 4 because
gonna
it
say,
just
yeah.
misses on that.
Yeah, I'm
stripe.
giving it like a 4.3.
I
Nah.
give it a
3.5.
4.7.
4.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
it's
gonna
like
give it a solid
4.5. You know, the launch. I really liked the design part, so that's gonna get a 5 for me because I liked how they
I get a f-
incorporated that,
You get a 4.
or like a
Yeah.
4.5 to 5,
I'm
somewhere
not
around
giving
there.
it above a 4. I'm gonna give it a solid 4.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Now, final thoughts on the event as a whole.
For
What do we
what
think?
money it saved Formula One and all the teams, I think the event deserves a lot of praise. I think it was again, we talked about, we got everything done in 2 hours. I mean, we
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
everything.
It's
it was
very
condensed. It was fun. We got to talk to the drivers. F1 bringing in, like everyone into one place and stuff like that enabled the drivers to be more like spontaneous, I guess, because they had to take those interviews and stuff like on the spot.
Yeah.
Rather than being orchestrated by the teams. So I give the event. I guess maybe we can do that out of 10. Or you want to do like the whole
Yeah.
event as
Event
out
is
of
a 10 out of 10.
I'll give it an 8.5. I think it was cool. I think it hit all the marbles is what I thought it was going
Do you
to.
think they should do it again?
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
so. I think that's how it should be. It should be a one and done event.
Yeah. I agree.
I think it should.
Also-
It was called F175 to memorize like 75 years of F1.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
gonna
would
be
be happy
upset
with
if
a
they
one
do it
and
again,
done.
but if they do a one and done, I'm gonna be happy with that. It's
Yeah, I don't care.
I think also, again, this comes from a content creator point of view. Last year, trying to do analysis on all the liveries when they would all launch at a different time throughout the entire month.
Or
Yeah.
like 5 of them on the same day. and
Yeah,
things like
it
that.
was so annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think if you F175, I feel like that should be one event. But like but then you can still do all the different liveries, but like just time it better.
Yeah.
I think there's a way we can time that better so everyone's not like, oh my gosh, this is crazy,
Yeah.
without having to do them all together. Because
I
like,
don't know.
I get that.
Eh.
Yeah.
I'm about it.
Mm.
I liked I remember last year I did really enjoy watching like the Red Bull launch. There was a lot of history behind it, so someone who like enjoys the history of F1 too, think that when they do individual launches, they get to go more in depth in the individual team. But I'm also like not pressed about it. Like it's not
Yeah.
I just want to get racing. So like whatever we got to do to like get this part out of the way, we're chilling.
yeah, I
valid.
feel like for like teams like Stake and stuff, it was good for them because they actually got more like exposure than they could probably be.
Yeah,
if they
it's
did their
actually very
own.
true.
But like but for other teams, they only got that such limited amount of time that they probably would have liked to do a longer launch
Yeah.
than more than like 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
So like it's got pros and cons. So I'm happy either way. I'm not really gonna care. I'm just gonna sit there and watch them.
Yeah.
Whatever happens.
Fair enough. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Tune in next Monday, 11:30 Eastern Time. We will likely be talking testing because that is coming up very soon. Cars back on track. In the meantime, stay up to date on our socials at Lights Latest on both Instagram and TikTok. Bye, guys.
Peace.
Peace.